memorial complex in Srebrenica and the burial site in Srebrenica has a very, very important place in the peace process in Bosnia today. It is a very important place for all groups. It is very important for future peace. It's also a place of conflict. It's a contested place. Different groups have a diametrically different opinion on what actually happened there and what the meaning of it is for the future of the country. The site itself is influencing both groups and the development, the processes in both groups, of course in very, very different ways, but it's key in understanding both what's happening within the Bosnian community in the area, what's happening within the Serb community in the area, and through that, what is actually happening in Bosnia. We're also looking at the other side, how this site perhaps, possibly, fuels the conflict in the local community, which we actually see that it does through denial of one group in the area, the local Serbs. So it is a complex process. It's not as simple as remembering history and learning from history. It's much more difficult once the identity of the people is put in the very center. These processes of identity building and identity creation and identity formation. For a period of time after the war, there was a debate where to bury the bodies, because Srebrenica was now part of the Republika Srpska, of Serb-held territory. So the question was where to do it. They came to a conclusion that it should actually be in Srebrenica, in Potočari, at the site where people were murdered. Even after this decision has been made, local Serb population and local Serb authorities attempted to stop building on the memorial site in any way they possibly could, because of course it wasn't part of their vision of Srebrenica for the future. Eventually, the international community actually had to get involved, and the Office of the High Representative of the international community in Bosnia eventually made the decision that overruled all local decisions to create this memorial complex. It's on two sides of the road leading to Srebrenica, through the village of Potočari. On one side of the road is the former battery factory that was a UN base in the times of war, and this was the place where women and children of Srebrenica were gathered and loaded up to buses and sent out to a free territory, and this was also the place where men were separated from their women and children and eventually murdered. It's on the very site. The old factory is now a memorial center with a memorial room, and on the other side of the street there once upon a time was just a field. Now it's a burial ground with thousands and thousands of bodies that have been buried. Thus far there are more than 8,000 people missing after Srebrenica, and thus far some 4,500 people have been buried at the site, and burials are still ongoing once every year on the 11th of July, on the anniversary of the massacre. Collective burials are taking place. And in recent years, even it's becoming more and more of a larger gathering of the Bosnian community in Eastern Bosnia. They do not acknowledge the site, they do not visit the site. On one hand, there is denial, complete denial that this ever happened. And up until recently, it was quite common for people in the local community to simply do not acknowledge at all that any massacre happened in Potočari in 1995. There's also the other mechanism of neglect is to recognize that the event took place, but not to recognize the size of the event. We know that there are more than 8,000 people missing from the events in Srebrenica, and in local population there's a game of numbers going on, trying to lower the number, trying to speak about, yes, some things did happen, but not as big as it's claimed from the Bosniak side. And finally, there is another mechanism of denial, that is to recognize the event and to recognize what happened to the population of Srebrenica in 1995, but at the same time to highlight own victims and own victims. So there is this this idea of yes, something happened there, but we have our dead as well, and they are also in the thousands. Memorial Centre has been built in Srebrenica, but on the other side, local Serb population has built a memorial site in Kravice, a village outside Srebrenica, to celebrate some 3,500 Serbs that have died in this last war and in the Second World War. Memorial site in Srebrenica is, and the burial grounds in Srebrenica are, of course, for the Bosniak nation, of course, central, a very important place. This is where the largest act of genocide happened, and the largest war crime in all wars in former Yugoslavia, and the largest war crime since Second World War on the European soil. So it is very central for the identity of Bosniak as an ethnic group, as a nation. What we are seeing in the last years at the memorial site every year on the 11th of July, collective burials are taking place. What we are seeing is also that these collective burials and anniversary of events in Srebrenica is more and more connected to political events in the country in general, to politics, if you will. On one hand, families are burying their dead, so that we have this individual sorrow. We also have this collective sorrow within the entire group, but we also have the collective processes of nation building happening on site. Just last year, 15th year of anniversary of what happened in Srebrenica coincided with the general elections in Bosnia, which also meant that political parties used this event to send out their political message. It is the place of history, the place of remembrance.